All right, Facebook, so we are live and we are gonna talk today about how to take your goal and take your habit, take your paradigm and start changing them. Yesterday I gave you a little trick how that you can go forward and identify what is non-productive and change it with the productive habits, and that is exactly what we're going to talk about today. So I want you to take a note and a pad and just be ready. I'm gonna put something on the board so you're gonna be able to take some notes and get involved as well. So I hope that you're ready, because there's a lot of things, and if you want to change something in your life, that is the lesson that's going to help you to do that, to move forward. So just stick with me right now, and I'm going to help you to figure it out how to change your paradigm, because as I mentioned earlier in another session, actually yesterday I was talking about your mind, which there's the conscious part and there's the subconscious part. And when you're a kid, what's happening is everything, all the habits, all the ideas, all the belief system are going directly to your subconscious mind. So if we are taking some notes here and we're gonna use this as your mind, and maybe yesterday was not as clear, so I want to clarify, I want to make sure that you get everything out of this so you can take action and you can move forward toward the life that you want. So what I said is this part here is your conscious mind, right? So that's the conscious part. Now this part starts forming around 3 years old, depending on how good and how fast your learning process happen. But normally this is where your conscious mind will start to form. So between 3 and 7 years old, basically that's where normally your conscious mind have been developing, and then your paradigm and your habit and your subconscious mind, everything, all the ideas, habit, paradigm, belief system have been moving here. And what happened is you've been forming those habits, you've been forming those paradigms and those belief system, and everything you're gonna do will be part of this part in the subconscious mind. So if you're not changing what's happening here, you will never be able to change your results. And that is why that you can go through life and struggle and have a lot of hard time, because you don't understand that whatever you're thinking at the conscious level is not what's going to make you move and start changing your life like in reality and get different results, because all this happened in the subconscious mind. So it's all part of your paradigm, and paradigm dictate everything that you're going to do. Paradigm controls your life. You can have good paradigm, you can have bad paradigm. The good paradigm, you want to keep them because they make you do good things. That's the bad paradigm that we are after. That's the bad belief system that is holding you back, that we want to change. And this is what I'm going to help you to do. So, whatever is happening, basically what's happening is you've been forming logic. And logic is a very tricky thing, because if you are looking, for example, at the Wright brothers, when they started to have this idea that we can fly and we can go to new world, people were thinking that that's illogic. You cannot have something flying which is heavy. And in their mind, they could see it. And if you start changing your belief system, if you start changing the way that you're operating at the conscious level and get emotionally involved with that, and change the paradigm, change the way your belief system works, then you will be able to start changing your logic. So in order to start changing your habit, you're gonna do things which for you is illogical. But you cannot have extraordinary results if you are thinking logically. It's not gonna happen, because all the great inventors, all the great leaders always think in a way which is different than everybody else, and that's what makes them being so successful. That's what makes them pioneer. They are ahead of their time because they're doing things which are totally illogical for the common people. But when we are moving forward, when we start to experience what they've been inventing, for example, the iPhone, like right now I'm talking to you through a phone, through a device, which if we would go 10 years ago, you would say that's impossible, cannot do that. But now through social media, through all those things, we take this as granted. We are not thinking that that is illogical. But if we go back in 2005, if someone would have telling you that we're going to do this, and every single person would have this in their hand and they're going to be able to do that, you would say that that's illogical. So you have to go beyond logic in order to start creating the type of results that you want to have in your life. And that is where the very first thing, in order to change your paradigm, you have to do something which is going to be illogical. Because we go back to the way that we gather information, right? We've been programmed that you gather information. So all the information which have been coming into your life have been put into your conscious mind. So this have been creating some paradigm and some habits and some belief system which have been going into your subconscious mind. But in order, like when you read a book, for example, you've been told you read the book, you read it, and then you put it aside. But you wouldn't go and read the book a third time, a 10th time, a 20th time, 120 times. Like for you, that would be logical. Like you say, well, I read the book, so I can give you basically an outline of what is in the book, but you not comprehend probably the entire meaning of what's in the book. So in order to start changing things, you're gonna have to start doing things that you haven't done before. So to go back to that, we've been programmed that when you get information, you got it and that's it, that's there. You don't need to go back into it. But in order to change your habits, you're gonna have to do it the same way that they've been put there. For example, when you start walking, were you just like getting up on your feet and start walking right away? No, that's not what happened. Is you tried it and you tried it again, then you fell, and then you tried it again, you hit your head and you start crying, go to your mom, and then but you wanted to walk. You saw your parents walking, or your older brother walking, or your older sister walking, and then you were just thinking, I can do that. And you're a little tiny baby, you cannot even articulate. But in order to start walking and to start being good at walking, you had to try it and you had to repeat and repeat again and repeat again and repeat again until the time that you incorporate this part of your habits, because at that time there was no conscious thought. Everything was going directly to your subconscious mind, and that's forming those habits that you finally made it. So in order to change habits, you're going to have to do the exact same thing. So repeat the same thing over and over and over again. And that is where that a lot of people say, oh, that's too much work, I don't want to do that. And that is where they're failing. That is why that they cannot move and change the results that they have, because they're unwilling. Remember what I said in the first lesson? Willingness. Are you willing to do whatever it's required to change your results and to go after what you want? So you have to create that as well. You have to create that willingness, and you're going to create that willingness by repeating over and over and over again, because there's two ways that you can change habits and paradigm. One is like this, bang. It's called an emotional impact. 9/11 was an emotional impact. If you are living here in Los Cabos, when we had Odile, that was an emotional impact. Now, you know, that was just a joke on the internet where that people are writing stuff, and that was a joke about a Category 4 hurricane, and then everybody already was in panic mode. Why? Because Odile was an emotional impact. Odile, by the way, for the people that are not living in this area, it was a massive hurricane that came here and destroyed the entire place. Basically, it creates a lot of panic now. So now we hear a hurricane, and all of a sudden everybody is into this survival mode instantly. So that is what an emotional impact. It creates a different habit. It changes your way of operating, change your paradigm. But you have no control on emotional impact, and most of the time it's negative. It can be positive, but most of the time it's negative. Now, the other way to change habits and paradigm, it's constant spaced repetition, meaning repeating the same thing, doing the same thing, reading the same thing over and over and over again until the time that the old habit, by lack of attention to it, disappear and you replace it with new habits. And that is the only way that you will be able to change the paradigm and the habits that you're not and are not in line. And if you go back to the lesson that I did yesterday, I was talking about NPAs, non-productive action, and PAs, productive action. So we're going to take the same thing, but we're going to create a different ways of seeing it, okay? So let's say that you have result which you don't like, which we're going to call it R minus, right? It's a result you don't like that you want to change. So that result, I want you to put it on a piece of paper and describe it in all details. So that could be that if you're in sales, that your sales are going up and down and you have not figured out how to be constant in your sales. And every time that you're winning, then you're losing some. So that could be this. Write this in details, right, on a piece of paper. And then everything has an opposite. Yesterday I was talking about the law of opposite, the law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. Up, down, hot, cold, in, out, yin, yang, positive, negative. So if there's a negative here, then there must be a positive to that situation that you are in. So you should start with, and I love the way that my mentor is utilizing this, because it's always put you into a very nice vibration. Is you should start all sentences with, I'm so happy and grateful now that, right? So I'm going to write it down here so you can have it and you can take note on it. I am so happy and okay? So you should always start your sentence with this. So when you're doing exercises, just write it down like this. So you're going to write the opposite of what the R minus is. And what you're going to do is you should repeat this over and over and over again all day long. You should write it down. I have a list. I have a book. Let me show you that in a moment. So I have a book that I'm writing, and you see, like, I have pages of writing of this sentence, and you repeat and you repeat, and then you're probably gonna think, well, that's crazy. I mean, like, how that is illogical. I know it's not part of your logic system, but that is the only way that you're gonna be able to change that. So if you want to change, if you really want to change those paradigms and those habits which are holding you back, that's what you're going to have to do, okay? So you're doing this, and then I want you to take the piece of paper with the R minus and burn it. Like, do a Jimi Hendrix with it, you know? If you don't know Jimi Hendrix, it was a guitarist, like virtuos, absolutely amazing. And in his concert, often, like, he was putting some gas on his guitar, and put fire on it and start dancing and just look at the guitar burning. Now, just be careful. Don't put your house on fire and all those things. Don't do that, okay? Be very careful with that. But you should burn that piece of paper and do a ritual. Does that get rid of that bad habit? No. It's symbolic, right? You're gonna let it go. Let it go. And then focus all your attention on the new paradigm. So if you're in sales again, I'm so happy and grateful now that my sales are increasing in an amazing manner. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm creating new leads and it's all coming towards me. And you get involved emotionally, and more you repeat it, what's gonna happen? In the beginning, it's gonna feel that you're lying to yourself. It's not gonna feel good. But more you write it, more you get involved with it, and all of a sudden you're gonna say, you know what? I think I can do that. I am doing this. That is part of me. This is what I want. And more you repeat it, what's happening is you let go of the old habit by not paying attention to it, and then the new habits start to get involved. You're gonna have to do that. I suggest you to do 1 or 2 habits at a time. Like, don't go crazy and start like getting involved and write, you know, 1,000,000 lines a day. I don't think that you're gonna be productive if you do that. You should always remember, like, you need to take 6 action steps on a daily basis in order to get closer to your goal. And in order to do that, you need to have time. So I would spend about, like, you know, maybe 30 minutes to an hour on this. And then I can hear you saying, well, I don't want to do that. That is the only way that you're going to be able to get rid of that habits, those old habits. By not paying attention and by focusing and putting all your attention in your mind on the new things that you want. That is the only way. This is the way you learn how to write. This is the way you learn how to read. This is you learn how to talk, how to walk. All those things that you learn over time, you learn it by repeating it. So the only way you're going to learn a new habit is by repeating it over and over and over again. But I know what's happening is your paradigm is, and I told you yesterday, your paradigm is like a very jealous partner, very jealous boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband or a friend. It's very, very jealous. So every time that you're going to try to change habits, the paradigm are gonna have like this little, like, you're gonna hear this little mama inside, which is telling you, yeah, you're okay, we're okay where we are, we don't need to change anything, you know, we have a great life. But if you don't change it, you're not gonna be able to have the results that you want. So it's very important that you get emotionally involved with that new thought, with that new belief system that you want to create. And do that. And you should, and once that you burn this, or you got rid of it, you shred it, you put it in the garbage, whatever you want to do with it, don't think about it. Don't think about the old habit. It's not serving you. So we get rid of it, right? Yesterday we called this one a NPA. So you should use, and this is a PA, you should use what you wrote yesterday on the situation that you're not happy and you would like to change. That's what I would do if I would be you. And then you spend all your attention on the R+. You repeat it and you repeat it again and you repeat, and you do this every day. You know, you can write it down like 50 times, 100 times. Personally, I write it down 36 times every day. That is my own way. This is what I'm doing because I did it 100 times. I did it for a couple months and my hand hurts like that was no tomorrow. It was not fun. But I did change some habits because of that. So I know it works. Like now I'm doing 36 times. So that is my number. I like it. It's a beautiful number. I love to do it this way. And then you will be able to change your habit. Do you have questions? Is there anything that you would like to know, that you would like me to assist you? Because that is what, you know, I want you to get involved. I want you to write question in the question box and get involved, because if we don't get involved, then we won't be able to make the change that we want. And that is this program and this. So I don't have yet questions. So if we do not have questions for now, that's gonna complete the training for today. I hope that this helps. Make sure to use this and to do that, because you can watch it, you can listen to it as much as you want, but if you don't put effort, if you don't put energy, if you don't try to change things, then you will never get the results. You need to take action. This program is all about taking action. So if you do take action, then you will see some tremendous results happening in your life. If you're just watching and say, oh, that's good information. You know, I love what you're doing, Marc, and nothing's going to change. So take action, make some changes in your life, and you will see magnificent results happening. Make today a day that counts, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao.